talked about the Honda, Nissan, and Mitsubishi Motors. They're kind of jumping in together, and they're going to create. They're not merging together, but they're each going to buy each other's stakes, and they're all going to start developing EVs together. Co-developing EVs as different companies. This is worrying because, there are very few Japanese car brands. There are very few American car brands. There are very few car brands at all. Weird and wacky car brands like AMC and all of GM's older divisions have longly just died, during the, housing crash of 2008 or, being bought out by a bigger company like GM or Ford and then being canceled just because they don't have the money to support you anymore and couldn't find a buyer. A lot of these smaller car companies they haven't been able to survive. Hell, Mitsubishi had a run with death in 2014, 2015 themselves. So they definitely know why this is so important. Now, a lot of people have, they're worried about this, right? They think it's going to affect the competitiveness of the car market, especially when Nissan, a motor giant, Honda, a motor giant, and Mitsubishi, a car company with a lot of potential, all team up together to create a massive company. Now, it doesn't mean that they're all forming one big one. That would be a monopoly. But you have to admit, when every single one of your companies is teaming together to make EVs, you think when the going gets tough, you're not going to, not try and smash the other car company? No. These bonds do matter. And the concerning thing is, Toyota doesn't really have them. Now, we know Toyota owns Lexus, right? But other than that, they don't really have other car brands. It's mostly steel companies, right? Not just steel companies, but, different types of companies that are not car companies. So, in my mind, Toyota Motor Group is pretty small, but you have to remember allies of Toyota, right? Remember, just because neither of these companies directly own each other, Toyota has a very lasting brand with Subaru. We know Subaru, we love Subaru. Toyota and Subaru have walked together, made a lot of stuff very frequently, but I have something today that you probably don't know about. Mazda Toyota Manufacturing. It's official. Now, this was done in late 2018. So, first of all, let's get into it. Why would Toyota care, right? Why would Toyota like Mazda? Well, first of all, a lot of car companies, including Toyota and Subaru, have been struggling to hold their value. All of these car companies have been struggling to stay consistent with their quality. Mazda's reliability has actually gone up in the last few years. That seemed really appealing to Toyota, and also, Toyota, all these car companies know what's going to happen before we knew, years in advance before we do. They're probably planning, Toyota's all-hydrogen fleet for 2045 right now in the conference room as we speak, right? So, it's not a big shock that Toyota probably knew that all three of these were going to end up working together at some point. Nissan and Honda have been sharing car parts, and Mitsubishi has been using Nissan CVTs since the beginning of time and sharing engines. That's just how the three companies work. Toyota definitely knew that this was coming. So, finding a reliable car company, we have Subaru. We love Subaru. Subaru is reliable. Subaru has a lot of great brands for Toyota, and Subaru has a lot of, especially, technology that Toyota wants. They're also very profitable. Again, this is a bond. They don't own each other exactly the same as these three, right? So, Mazda Toyota Manufacturing makes sense because Mazda, again, they're another small car company, right? Another small Japanese car company. At least compared to the, chart-topping Volkswagen, Toyota, those motor groups. Small Mazda doesn't really, they're not really in that. So this is very important. So what cars do they make here? They make two of my favorite cars ever. The all-new CX-50 is going to be made there, and the Toyota Corolla Cross is going to be made there. This is amazing. So first of all, let's start off, why is this so great, right? Why do I care? Why isn't this just another, SUV on the street? You see it driving by, oh, that's a Mazda. Why do we care, right? First of all, the Toyota Corolla Cross is one of, Toyota's best cars. This is bringing back affordable SUVs. This is one of the cheapest cars on the market. You can buy this thing for $23,000 brand new. $23,000 for an SUV is great, and I'm super happy to see that Toyota's coming out with more affordable cars for people that actually need them. Because while we like to make fun of people, like the Florida people, everyone in Florida, you don't need an SUV. There's no extreme weather, there's never any snow, and there's no hills. None. No whatsoever. All flat. For the most part. No one in Florida needs an all-wheel drive car, and no one in Florida needs an SUV. For the most part, unless you're carrying people, right? In Oregon, when I was on vacation in Oregon, I'm back home now, so, video production is normal. In the booth again. Well, kind of, my office. you know, that's when you need that. All cars there, you will never see a sedan in Oregon, for the most part, right? Because, extreme weather, stuff like that, right? So it's good to see Toyota actually making these cheaper cars again. And, the American people have said it, they want SUVs. It's a little bit debatable talking about whether they just don't want sedans because they're known for unreliability with the American car brands. YouTuber made a really good video on that. Definitely watch his video because I don't feel like making my own. And just making that entire video just to reference it here. Whenever I make a video, I actually like to care about the subject that I'm talking about. It helps it, it gives it that energy. So it's really nice to see Toyota making affordable cars because we haven't seen a lot of affordable cars in the market. And the Mazda CX-50 just slaps. I'm sorry. An off-road crossover. I know I shit on them a lot, but this is actually very, very good. I like all the stats starting at $30,000. Remember, Mazda is weird in the way that they do things. Essentially, they're trying to position themselves more with luxury prices and luxury styling, but still as a budget brand. It makes more sense than you think it does with me talking about it here. They also have an all-hybrid model, which is also great to see. Now, these two cars don't share a ton of parts, but they share a few. It's just nice to see both of these car companies trying so hard to bring affordable, cheaper transportation back. The Mazda is kind of the luxury car here, and, that's fine with that. The Mazda CX-50 seems to be a truly great opportunity for Mazda just to make something, nice, light, relatively affordable. I'm sure that price is going to go down slowly as it, whenever a car just comes out like that, it takes a while for the price to come down because all the new stamps and all the new presses to make all the new parts for this vehicle. I think this is great, it's the size that people want, it's a crossover, it's what people want, and the Toyota Corolla Cross is perfectly affordable and great. I love the Corolla Cross, I really, really do. Now, Toyota has actually worked with Mazda before. This is a Toyota Yaris. This is the 2020 version. This particular one came out in 2018. These were very nice cars. But if you look at it, something doesn't really line up. Toyota doesn't really use these style events. They used them back in the thousands with the Echo and some of the Priuses and the RAV4 for a bit there. But we haven't seen those in a while. And this sticky uppy screen, Toyota does it nowadays, but back in 2020, the Corolla had it, but it's not like a Toyota screen. It doesn't feel like a Toyota. So why doesn't this feel like a Toyota? And the more that you look at it, it doesn't look like a Toyota. So what's the big secret? It's not a Toyota at all. This is a rebadged Mazda 2. This works perfectly because the Mazda 2, not a very popular car. I don't even think it was sold over here. Yeah, it was just perfect. Toyota needed a small car, and, Subaru, you have to remember, they don't have any mini micro cars like that, right? And remember, these cars have razor-thin profit margins, so for Toyota to go out and develop their own one, it's just not amazingly great financially for them. So they just said, hey, Mazda, let me use this one. We'll cover your ass next time you need one. And that is indeed what ended up happening, as if I search 2022 Mazda. Oh, wait a second. Which one did I get wrong? Oh, yeah, right, this one. As if I search 2022 Mazda 2, you want to know what's, something that's really great about this vehicle? Well, this is the future one. But for a while there, Mazda actually used the Toyota Yaris, this one, the 4-in-1, the better one, for their car there for a little bit. That was really interesting. Toyota actually rebadged their, the Toyota Yaris as the Mazda. So, Toyota got a Yaris out of it in the US, and in foreign countries, Mazda got the Yaris and turned it into the 2, or the 3. Some Mazda, they definitely used this and rebadged this at one point. So, the car companies, it's not like I'm making something up in my wonderland. This is actually an outstanding, current relationship. And also, just an interesting thing, Toyota owns 5.1% of Mazda. That's not a lot. You have to, 5%, it's a good amount. Like, if you were a shareholder, you're not going to own anywhere near 5%, unless you're, seriously a millionaire. But, yeah, 5.1%, it's not a lot of a company, right? That's nowhere near ownership levels. But it's good to see, that they have a kind of a bond. Now, if you don't know, why do I think Subaru is more entwined than Mazda is? Because they own 20% of Subaru. That's a decent amount, very decent amount. Not bad at all. 20% is pretty good, 5%, it just shows the bond that they have. Toyota and Mazda, Toyota and Subaru gives some technology to Toyota, right? But Toyota, they really give a lot to Subaru in terms of technology, cars, they gave them the Solterra, which is supposedly, by going for all the charts and graphs. Remember, I'm not some person that doesn't listen to science or whatever. I'm just a person that's skeptical, of some things, like the charts that they put out for how well EVs are selling. I have, knowing a lot of people in both Oregon and Florida, I really highly doubt that those numbers are anywhere close to the actual amount of the demand that there is. But yeah, also, Ford used to own Mazda. They do not anymore. It was actually a pretty interesting agreement. Ford, I think, is better of GM. They actually end up helping the companies that they worked with. If you don't know, Ford owned Volvo. Volvo came out the better side of it, right? They were able to find a buyer. Ford, and, GM, whenever a recession or anything comes around, they just slash companies like that. They just kill them right away. Oh, yep, no. A recession? Wait, what? Oh, my grandmother said there's a recession coming. Quick, kill all the brands, kill all of them. Meanwhile, Ford, they really tried to hold on to Volvo. They just couldn't, had to sell it. That's fine. Mazda and Volvo both came out the better side of being owned or having a massive partnership with Ford. Toyota and Mazda are now mainly equals. Like I said, the Mazda's reliability scores are fine. They're not amazing, but they're pretty good, pretty good. And, it's just nice and exciting to see. And hopefully, this will be a good, what's the thing? Like, I'm an angry mom talking to my son. A good influence, right? This will be a good influence on Toyota. As we've seen this crap, Toyota is getting kind of sketchy, and I really hope that Mazda, considering their reliability scores are so good, I really hope that Mazda can pull their stuff together. Now, there is a bad part of this deal. As I said before, Mazda isn't really comparable to Toyota as it is to Subaru. It's kind of complicated to explain it. So Toyota treats Mazda like an equal, even though Mazda sells a lot less than Toyota does naturally. But they used to be, chin and chin with Subaru for a very long time, and now they're slightly above, a little bit above Subaru, but Subaru is also gaining traction, so we don't know how long that's going to last. It's a complicated and complex situation, but the weird thing here is, which might not be an amazing idea, Toyota's kind of dancing with everyone right now. They're dancing with Subaru more than Mazda, but they're also kind of dancing with Mazda. These two have been heavy competitors for a while. The Subaru Impreza, as long as it's been around, has competed with the Mazda 3 for as long as it's been around, all million years. Anyway, yeah, Mazda and Subaru are kind of fierce competitors. One thing that I did notice, now remember, this thing has been going on since 2018. It's not like I'm talking about something here, oh my god, you need to know about this. This just came out of the press. It's hot and fresh and ready to eat. No, this has been out for a while. I just figured I'd do a video on it. That's all. So yeah, this has been out for a while, but Mazda actually ran an ad bashing Subaru for having, Subaru wants to be known for reliability, but we have more top safety pick plus models than they do. I saw them doing that. Kind of, Mazda, come on, don't pick a fight with Subaru. If I had to choose between Subaru and Mazda, I'm choosing Subaru. I'm sorry. Subaru, I've owned Subarus. I've seen how good they are. Mazda, remember, Subarus have been reliable for a very good amount of time. Head gaskets were an issue on the what's it called again? Not the BRZ, the good one, the one that people like, the WRX, for a while. But not that big of an issue, right? They've been very reliable for a very long amount of time. That's why they originally worked with Subaru. Mazda, over the past 5 years, let's say around 2017, that's when they got reliable. Before then, like your 2011 Mazdas, they would have reliability issues. Some models were exempt from it. The 3 wasn't, unfortunately. I'm just saying, Subaru's been more reliable than a lot longer than Mazda has. These two car companies, they really struggled in 2008 keeping their reliability and consistency down when they didn't have help from a bigger company. Well, at least, Subaru didn't. And now they're both kind of gaining reliability, but I think Subaru's always been a little bit more reliable than Mazda in the long term, right? In the long run. Mazda's definitely over Subaru in reliability right now, but like I said, Subaru seems to be pumping out more vehicles, coming up with more concept cars, just doing more in the auto industry, so we don't know what, turds they're going to cook up. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed my video.